The Grind, a Minnesota sports podcast.
Welcome into The Grind, a Minnesota sports podcast. Jake, you got to say it like that.
I haven't been on here since it's been The Grind, I don't think. So
yeah, but if you want to be a guest
think about it for a second.
On the show, you got to say The Grind.
The Grind.
Oh, come on. That's pretty good, though.
Yeah. I went deep voice there. Yeah.
Lots to discuss. The Minnesota sports major teams, the four major teams, haven't won a championship since 1991. That's why it's being called The Grind, a Minnesota sports podcast. Lots to discuss. Jake's on the show. JJ McCarthy, preseason discussions, and plenty more to discuss on today's podcast. But first, Jacob, I need to tell you about 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis because they transformed our bathroom in 48 hours, our entire thing. New floors, new bathtub. They got rid of our mold in our shower, new shower head. Our favorite feature went from a single to a double sink, new vanity countertops and mirror. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis remodeled our full bathroom in 48 hours. Don't wait 6 weeks. Don't wait 8 weeks when your project can get done in 48 hours. They do big projects, they do small projects, but their guarantee is that it will be done in 24 to 48 hours. Contact 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis to get your bathroom remodeled done today. Free consultations and affordable payment plans are available. 5-Star Bath Solutions of Minneapolis. Jacob, how you doing? It's been a minute. But as the Vikings season is ready to kick off, this is when we kick into high gear and pump out podcasts all the time. But you got Litchfield football, you got volleyball, we got McCarthy, we got preseason takeaways. Where do you want to start?
That doesn't matter. Well, I thought when you're talking about the grind and teams not winning a title, are you dismissing the Twins, journey this year? Are you counting them out of a championship?
I'm not counting them out. And recently, I disclosed a formula that could potentially break this curse that has been laying over the state of Minnesota for 25 years. Well, not 25 years, 33 years. And I don't know why I said 25 years. I'm 33 years old. I was born in 1991. Should be pretty easy math to do, but it wasn't. But here's the formula for the curse to be broken. I thought formula number one was, okay, when I have offspring, the curse will be broken. Our daughter's born, curse isn't broken. I thought when I had a son, the curse would be broken. We have a son, the curse isn't broken. But here's where I find the formula. I was the third child. I was the third child in our family, the last to be born. And that's when the curse started. Although the Twins won the World Series a month later, they haven't won a championship since 1991. Now I am having our third child, which I think because I was the third child, I'm having the third child. It seems to line up appropriately. So I think the formula might be broken.
I think so. I think that's sound logic.
Right.
That's very sound logic.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going with it.
Yeah. How many do you have aggressive Twins? Are you as angry as all these other Twins fans are about the Pollad situation?
Oh, man. I disclosed that take earlier this week. I shared when you're a billionaire, you can do whatever the heck you want. And when you're an owner, you can own the team however you want. And they have made it clear that they are going to own the team however they want. And to put the team for sale, for the commissioner to say a sale will be coming down soon or is likely to happen, and then for them to change their minds is the most Pollad thing ever. Yep. But they're the owners. They can do whatever the heck they want because they have FU money.
Yep.
And
you know what I thought of?
Yeah.
Glenn Taylor probably wishes he did with the Blades.
Seriously.
What did the Blazers just sell for? Like $4 billion or something?
Yeah. Yeah. And he just sold to Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lowry for like $1.5 billion.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think he'll make.
Yeah. He's, I'm not going to be able to live out the final 5 to 10 years of my life because I lost $2.5 billion on this deal.
Yeah. And his kids and his grandkids will be just fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just obviously disappointing. Now, it is funny because I just don't care. Like, I have not watched a second of Twins baseball. I go maybe to one game a year. Not something I care about.
You didn't subscribe to Twins TV?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't. Yeah, I watch 0 Twins on the air.
Me too.
But it is just disappointing. You want other people who care to have what they want to have, and have a team and owners that care about the product, right? Trying to sneak $450 million of debt into a sale, and just like the shadiness and the lack of, fiscal responsibility that they seem to have. Yeah, it's just embarrassing more than anything to watch, right? It's just kind of like, I don't know.
Which is interesting because after they traded Carlos Correa, everyone was frustrated. But it's not like Carlos Correa was producing anything on the field this season.
No, that's my hot take, is that most of the trades they did were not, like, who cares? Like, they weren't, like, people are, they traded away 10, 11 people, blah, 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 blah. I mean, most of them were kind of either not performing well, or only had a year left, stuff like that. The only two, I think, Duran and Varland, I think those two sucked. Trading those two sucked. Like, Varland was under contract for 5 more years. Duran's clearly, like, if we're good next year, Duran would help us be good next year.
Right.
But people were mad about Griffin Jacks. Well, they didn't want to trade Griffin Jacks. Griffin Jacks requested a trade after everyone else was getting traded. He knew what was happening, and they honored his request, which, whatever. Good.
It's not like Griffin Jacks is going to be the difference between the Twins being a playoff team or not.
Yeah.
And
I remember who it was.
They've been more entertaining since the trades. It's been more.
Yeah.
Not that I've watched a game, but to follow them via social media.
It's been story. And,
right.
Giving other guys opportunities. Yeah.
For sure.
That's what I was listening to. I think it was Bonus. Just saying, like, relievers are the easiest things to develop. Like, they're usually starting pitchers who don't quite work out, and then you get them to specialize in a relief role. And that's what all the guys that we had in those relief positions were, all former starters that you just kind of develop. That's fair, right? Again, your point of being, are they a 95-win team next year if they have kept Duran and Jacks and Varland? I mean, no, probably not. It's probably not the difference. So it's not the end of the world, but it is, especially Varland, where it's like, Minnesota guy, went to Minnesota colleges, or I forget what one he went to, but he went to somewhere in Minnesota. His wife, like, attends every game. Like, they're like Minnesota people. And it just felt unnecessary. Like, what are you doing? Again, we have Varland until 2030. Like, what's the purpose of trading him? But yeah, so that's kind of my hot take, is that the 10 people they traded out for the most part wasn't actually that controversial. Obviously, it's more just like what it represents. That is the problem, the financial piece and how they're cutting payroll.
Louis Varland attended North High Senior School in St. Paul.
Yep.
And played college baseball at the Concordia University, St. Paul.
See, I knew he was. I couldn't remember which college he went to, but I knew he was a local boy. And again, that's just more like, it's the PR of it, right? Like, you're trading a guy who loves Minnesota, wants to be here, his family wants to be here, blah, 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 blah. There's not really a financial reason to trade him because it's a super cheap contract, and they just do it anyway. So it just makes you go from, like, I don't really like those people, to like, oh, they're doing that. I really don't like those people being the Bullheads.
Sure.
In terms
when you
of
trade a local boy, it changes things.
Yeah.
It takes a more emotional toll on your body and mind.
Yeah.
And creates more bitterness and frustration towards the ownership group.
Just another
thing.
Just another.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the A topic, and that's the Minnesota Vikings. They have a preseason game today. Go Max Brosmer. But really, the biggest conversation has revolved around JJ McCarthy and his inconsistencies in practice, his inconsistencies in the first preseason game, and then in joint practices versus the Patriots 2 days ago, he was lights out, performed his best practice he's ever had, accurate, showed his big arm, dominated, touchdowns here, touchdowns there. And all the reporters that were at the game, at practice, said the same thing. He looks phenomenal. He looks great. And what I want to see is that he puts more than one good practice together, because the day before, everyone was reporting that it was a pretty poor practice. And then the very next day, he's great. He's lights out. He's dynamite. He's dominating. It's sensational. And here's where I struggle with this, with McCarthy. If you're performing poorly in practice and then you perform great in practice, that's good. We love to see great practices. But now I want to ask him to put together more than one good practice in a row. Show some consistency. Sure, it's been a year since he's played competitive football practices and all those things, so it's going to take time for him to kind of get up to speed and get familiar and get comfortable and get the arm where he needs it to be. But if you're performing poorly in practice, I compare it to, okay, if you're performing bad on the driving range, you don't take a poor driving range performance and take it onto the golf course and then shoot your best score. Larry Bird would make 300 straight free throws in practice. He was a career 88% free throw percentage shooter from the free throw line. So, like, that's kind of where I'm at with that. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, so as always, right, the answer lies somewhere in the middle. Usually there's people extreme on one side, extreme on the other, and usually the truth is somewhere kind of in the middle. Some people have expectations way too high, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to expect what's a 22-year-old, you're right, coming off of a whole missed rookie season. You know, he got mental reps, blah, 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 but he hasn't played NFL football yet. He's effectively a rookie, right?
Yep.
And expecting him to just come out and be even what Sam Darnold was last year is probably asking a lot.
Oh, I don't think he can perform Darnold's numbers. 35 touchdowns, 12 picks. I don't think the Vikings coordinators will allow that. I don't even think they would allow him to be Sam Darnold of last year.
Yeah. Yep. So you have that where some people expect him to be in that tier. And again, odds are he's probably not ready for that tier, right? And then you have other people that are saying, you know, looking at these practices going, he's never going to figure it out. He's never going to blah, 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 blah. And again, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. He's a 22-year-old effective rookie, right? Where he's learning. He comes from a Michigan system where obviously he slung the ball around a little bit, but it was a run-first team that he was a complement to the run game. Hopefully, that's kind of a little bit what the Vikings can do with their team, right? Jones and Jordan Mason. So just again, the truth is somewhere right there in the middle. He's going to have plenty of games where he looks like the chosen one. And, you know, I can guarantee he's going to lose us a few games where he just looks like a rookie, just with his head underwater, throwing bad throws, trying to figure it out, you know, all that sort of stuff. I mean, so, right. Just nowadays, it's all sensationalism, right? He's the best ever. He's the worst ever. I mean, again, the truth is probably likely going to lie somewhere in the middle, which is on the boring side. But that's just the way that I see it. Is he going to be effective? Yes. Is he going to have a few games where he absolutely probably, you know, cuts down our chances of winning because he has mistakes? Absolutely. It's going to happen. The other thing I always wonder too, or not always, but since this camp has been going on.
You've always wondered this.
Since camp started, and you see all the reporting, you know, you look at anybody's rankings of defenses, and the Vikings, some people have them number 1. Most people have them top 5 and a minimum top 10 defensive unit. I do wonder, because everyone, you know, the Vikings defense is so good. They do so many different funky things, and the way they bring pressure and blah, 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 blah. Brian Flores is a genius.
Yeah.
I do wonder how much that matters in terms of McCarthy's like development too. Like if there is some truth to it, because my first reaction was like, no way. There's no way that he's gonna look bad against the Vikings defense, then all of a sudden just be able to turn it on against the Bears Monday night.
Mm-hmm. And the
But
Bears have a good defense too.
They do have a good
we
defense,
can't
to be
discount
fair,
the Bears defense. They were legit last year.
Right, that's fair. I just mean, just in general, once he goes against other teams, he's all of a sudden going to be able to just turn it on.
Totally. Yep.
And it's like, at first I was like, that seems dumb. Like, they're all NFL defenses. They're all complex. They're all doing you have 32, in theory, of the best defensive minds in the world, right? D coordinators that are figuring all this out. So but to some extent, I think it might be kind of true that some of, the Vikings are challenging him more probably than the average defense does during camp. Probably good for his long-term development, probably bad for his day-to-day, how does he look, what throws did he hit, development. If that makes sense.
And I love how you make some good points, and you touch on the exact topic within the topic that I was going to dive into next, and I was going to bring up. I look at it a few different ways. I look at it this way. It's like he's getting better in practice, and he's facing these challenges and adversity in practice, and then he can bring that into the games, and this pressure that he has to face is not going to be a surprise when he gets to week 1 versus the Chicago Bears and he sees a blitz coming because he's faced it every day in practice. So there should be some level of improvement. However, when you look for the middle, I also find the middle in this right here. You also have to be careful with this because we saw this in the first preseason game. When McCarthy does have a clean pocket when it comes to the regular season, I think we have to be careful that he isn't seeing things that aren't there because of what he got so accustomed to in practice. Meaning, in 2019, Darnold had the legendary quote when he was with the Jets that he was seeing ghosts on the field because of the amount of pressure that he was facing throughout every single week. And then he got to a point where he saw things that weren't even there. Now,
right, you
McCarthy,
get hit so many times and you're worried, yeah.
Yes, we saw this in the first preseason game where McCarthy, he threw the ball high to Lucky Jackson and he was wide open down the middle of the field that went over his head. And there was someone, I think it might have been McCarthy or Kevin O'Connell, it was someone within the Vikings organization said after the game that typically in practice what he had to do, he didn't have time to make a second hitch and he just had to throw the ball. So we've seen some part of, okay, we love that he's facing this pressure in practice so that he can get acclimated and it's not a big surprise when it comes to week 1. But we also have to be careful not to go too far down that road because if we do, then he might start to see things in a clean pocket. He might start to expect a rush that isn't actually there because that's all he's seen. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, fine. You're threading the middle line perfectly there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would err. I mean, the odds that he gets to the point where he's seeing ghosts, so to speak, I hope we don't get to that point.
Yeah.
But I get to what you're saying. Absolutely. Yeah. Where it's like, things, well, I don't say be easier, right? Because it's different, but just, the pocket might be a little cleaner. And it seems like we're going to have a great old line too. So you hope that they're going to hold up and no injuries and all that sort of good stuff. So that should help.
We're going back a week now, but I was very vocal. And tell me I'm wrong. I've been very vocal.
Oh.
I've been very vocal. And we're going to get to Jacob's preseason 5 things to look for in a second. I've been very vocal that one series in the preseason, he threw the ball 7 times, had 1 series against the Houston Texans, against their backups, wouldn't change the trajectory, good or bad, for McCarthy in week 1 versus the Chicago Bears when the games matter. I was vocal that the risk of playing McCarthy in a preseason game was not worth the reward of him getting 1 series against the backups, of him getting hurt, missing the entire season. What do you do at the quarterback now? Maybe you trade for Kirk Cousins. And we're grateful that he didn't get hurt. We don't even need to consider it anymore. But the reason why I bring this up is because I've gotten completely run over by the Vikings fan base that thinks that he needs reps. He needs the in-game experience. Does 7 passes 1 month before week 1 of the regular season going to make the difference between McCarthy being successful in week 1 or not?
I would say not even a little bit. The only thing I will say that it's good for, I think it's more about the routine. It's more about getting like kind of the jitters out, that kind of thing, like going through the experience, going through, hey, I'm starting,
True.
going through, hey, I'm listening. How does KOC relay the plays in and do, just like getting reps doing that. I think that's
more mental
important.
reps than anything.
I think all of that part of it, is more important than if he came out and lit it up. Because again, Texans preseason defenses, they're running bland coverage. It's again, like you said, it's all the backups for the most part for the Texans. They didn't have Will Anderson going. I don't remember. They didn't have Danielle Hunter going.
No, they
for
had
sure.
nobody basically.
They had right. So it's like what he performed wise. Obviously, yes, you'd rather have him hit throws and whatever. But it's not like it would be a concern if he didn't. I'm not in the quarterback room with the Vikings, but my guess would be that it's much more about going through the routine, doing the warm up, doing the preparation as a starting quarterback, right? Going through the motions, listening to KOC in the headset and how he relays plays. Obviously, they do that in practice too, but just like the game is different, right? I think it's just to curb it just a little bit, so when you walk out to Soldier Field, again, he's been in big moments. He's been in the national, so maybe even that part's overblown too. It's not like he hasn't had big moments. I mean, the dude was at Michigan in national title. I mean, so it's like even that aspect probably isn't that big of a deal to go through those motions. But at the end of the day, he's still a 22-year-old who's going to be starting in the NFL for his first time. You can't tell me he's not going to be nervous and all that sort of stuff. That's my kind of take is more that it's about going through those reps. Again, what happened on the field, there's no chance that KOC's worried about, hey, the difference of this 10 plays that he had against Houston, now he's ready, and he wouldn't have been before. I don't think that's that big of a factor for them, because obviously, again, the joint practices is where they really get all the reps in terms of those game-like reps under a controlled environment. So, yeah, I mean, it's the old way of thinking, I think, more so is that, hey, they need to play preseason games to get the reps and get ready and blah, blah, blah. No, they structure practice now that's where they're getting all their like game-like reps. Long term, but I don't know how long here we're looking, but it will not be surprising if all the preseason games go away and that's not a thing anymore because they just don't, they just turn them into regular season games or whatever. So, I mean, I don't think anybody really, there's certain guys where, and especially obviously it's preseason is more about your 2s, your 3s, and your 4s battling out who's going to make the roster.
Yep.
That's important because those are guys who have never been in those situations before or have or on the fence or whatever. But yeah, no, McCarthy getting, again, do you want to see him perform well? Yeah, duh. But like, I don't think that's like some sort of indication
barometer of how he's going to perform,
or barometer of how it'll go, or like.
Yeah.
And again, to your point, there's certainly a chance, the injury risk of it. Yeah, there's plenty of coaches who don't take that risk anymore with anybody, even if they do need game reps. Again, they do those game reps in a controlled environment in practice now. They don't even worry about the preseason. So,
and the point that I was making is like, okay, one series against Houston, he could make that up in the first quarter against Chicago. And some people responded, and not that I get offended by it, but it's like they didn't understand the reasoning for my opinion. It's like, they're like, oh, he could get hurt anywhere. Well, I would rather him get hurt in a game that matters versus the Chicago Bears versus miss the entire season in a meaningless preseason game against the Houston Texans. We just saw this last year. But anyways.
Right. Well, and even like, again, with the Patriots, it's a controlled environment. They're not touching McCarthy.
Right. Right. But he's still getting the reps.
And he's still getting the reps. So, yeah, it's just, again, could they have made it without him playing a game? No. I would guess that McCarthy wanted to. I would guess, obviously, KOC wanted him to. Like I said, I bet it's more about the routine, running out there for the first time, listening to the crowd, getting the headset in there and listening to the plays and relaying it, and just that confidence build more than anything than it is about like the physical, hey, I threw it a 22-yarder to Addison on that, whatever. It's a good point. He's done that hundreds of times in practice already.
Yeah.
That's not a big deal.
It's a good point. All right, let's dive into Jacob's 5 things to look for in the preseason. But first, I need to tell you about Hochland Farms beef, because they have the best 100% rotationally grazed, grass-fed beef. You go to the store, you look for a steak or a chuck roast, and you check the price on that. It's like $9 to $10 a pound. Hochland Farm beef has chuck roast, steaks, hamburger, all the good stuff for roughly $4 a pound. You heard me right. $4 a pound. Contact Jared to get your order of 100% grass-fed beef at Hochland Farm. 952-491-1541. 952-491-1541. You'll be financially better off, and your stomachs will thank you, because it's healthier, it's better, it's cheaper, it's better in every single category. Hochland Farms beef. 952-491-1541. Tell Jared Tim sent you, and you get a little discount on your first order. All right, Jacob.
I'm not joking. I need to do that, because I always go to Walmart and look. It's like $5.70 for like a pound of hamburger.
For a pound of hamburger, but do you look at the steaks and chuck roast? It's like $8, $9. It just like more, skyrockets, to $9 a pound.
Yeah. No fun.
Contact Jared.
5 things to watch today.
All right, 5 things. Here we go. Let me put a little music so I can, have a little fun with it. Wrong one. Maybe this one. Wrong one.
Do you want me to give you all 5, and then you can kind of circle back to which ones you want to talk about, or do you want to go one by one and just quick hit on it?
We'll go one by one and quick hit on it.
All right.
All right, let's see it.
Okay, the first one, I think it's one of the bigger camp battles we have. Will it matter for the team? Probably not. But Brett Ripien versus Max Brosmer.
Oh, baby.
I think that's a big one to watch, because they will both get a lot of action today. Sam Howell's starting. The other two, should get plenty of time. Might be a 2-quarter, 1-quarter type situation. Ripien, 29-year-old, Boise State product. I was looking up his stats, because his NFL stats are bad. 4 touchdowns, 9 picks, 10 games. College stats were crazy good. 13,000 yards, 4-year starter at Boise State.
He's Kevin O'Connell system guy, though.
Just gripped it and ripped it in college. Just an absolute legend. Obviously, Brosmer kind of dominated the FCS world, and that the Gophers looked fine for what the Gophers do, which is not throw a lot. But everything is kind of saying that Brosmer's been the guy in camp that has been turning heads.
It's a big preseason day number 2.
Yep.
Big game.
It is. So do you go with the 29-year-old vet as your quarterback 3, or do you kind of roll the dice on a practice squad 24-year-old, see what you got, see if there's anything? Will either of them ever start? No. If the Vikings are to a situation where we're on our 3rd string, does it matter who it is? No. So I would lean, and obviously some Gopher bias, I'm sure, but I would lean going the Brosmer route, because why would you not just take the younger guy? Because, again, if either of them have to start a game, we're screwed anyway. So
I 100% agree. I would not disagree with anything you said, and I will bring this up. There's been discussion about, a backup quarterback debate because Max Brosmer's looked so good in practice and in the preseason. I don't think there's any debate. And despite Sam Howell's struggles in training camp, and has been widely reported by everybody that he's been struggling, what isn't going to happen is this. The Vikings are not going to throw out a first-time starting, basically rookie quarterback in JJ McCarthy and have his backup be an undrafted quarterback out of Minnesota. So I've seen some could Brosmer be QB2? No chance. No. But what really has become a discussion is if Brosmer is going to continue to show that he's going to get plucked off the practice squad by some other NFL organization, throw Brett Ripien on the practice squad, because he's probably going to make it there. So at this point in time, I think Brosmer should be QB3, and you send Brett Ripien over to the practice squad.
Yep, I totally agree. Like you said, Sam Howell's at least started a bunch of games in his life. Does he have a better chance if JJ McCarthy goes down to be decent? Yes. Right. Obviously, there's a reason that he's bounced around at this point and is not a starter anymore, but that's true of any backup quarterback that exists. So,
right. And if he is going to be terrible as a backup, then throw in Brosmer and see what he can do. Right.
If he does a few games, you're like, oh boy, yeah, throw someone else in there. All right. I think the the running back position's another position to watch. So number 2.
Is this number 2? Okay.
Obviously we have Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, which I think Jordan Mason, I would not be shocked if he ends up as more of the lead back. That's kind of more of a, I don't know, people are still kind of slotting Aaron Jones in there. I think it's going to be 50-50 or even maybe a titch towards the Mason side. He was a very effective runner for the 49ers. Aaron Jones is 30 or 31, whatever he is. Mason's more of a bruiser, so it might be more of a Mason on first and second down and Jones on third down kind of thing. But Ty Chandler versus Xavier Scott, I suppose would be the next one. But do the Vikings keep Ty Chandler? Do they trade Ty Chandler? Do they let him go? I believe they can save something like $1 million in cap space if they, dispose of him. I don't know that you need him anymore with the 2 running backs ahead of him.
Right.
He's kind of an Aaron Jones maybe sort of replacement guy. But again, next year they're probably going a different direction anyway. Ty Chandler regardless. So that'd be something to watch. Do any of the other Viking running backs step up today like Xavier Scott? I doubt Trey Stewart, but mainly Xavier Scott. Does he look like an RB3 where they can get rid of Ty Chandler?
Well, a lot of Vikings reporters have indicated that Xavier Scott has been outperforming Ty Chandler. And over the years, Kevin O'Connell has yanked Ty Chandler pretty quickly, specifically because of his pass blocking issues. He's got speed. He's got electricity running the ball and catching the ball because of his ability to burst one. But he can't pass block. Terrible pass blocker. And I would think by all measures that Xavier Scott will be RB3 right now. Now, with the Jordan Mason thing, one thing that still befuddles me is how much the Vikings had to give up to get Jordan Mason. It was practically nothing. And Jordan Mason has been a very capable running back with the San Francisco 49ers over the years. And I think he had some health problems maybe last year.
But he got hurt last year.
When he's healthy, he's a very capable running back that can do multiple things in the backfield. And he's not a 29-year-old either, which maybe he's got like 1 year left. He's pretty young. So I don't know why the 49ers gave him up for practically nothing. But here the Minnesota Vikings are with great options. And I would agree. Maybe it's one of those things where Jordan Mason takes on 60% of the load throughout the game, but Aaron Jones finishes the game, unless Mason is riding some kind of heater where it's like, just let him go because he's on fire right now. But I could see something like that happening.
Well, and Mason's the bruiser. He's a big boy. He has something like 120 total receiving yards in his career. You don't throw Jordan Mason the ball. Obviously, it's Jones's bread and butter at this point in his career is all that kind of like third down receiving work and stuff like that. Obviously, he still can run the ball, but that's what I mean with the split. Where I think we're going to see Mason as more of our bruiser, first and second down, kind of the grinded out guy. But Jones is still the more explosive option. So I think that's going to be a nice 50-50, yin and yang sort of thing there.
One thing about that, real quick, and I posted this on I replied to someone on Twitter with this. Jordan Mason, the big bruiser, the big guy that's going to get the short yardage gain. I cannot wait this season for the 4th and inches. The Vikings run the ball to Jordan Mason. And what has been O'Connell's biggest criticism for the last 3 years?
Well, I feel like play calling.
What are you doing? It's 4th and inches. Run the ball. If you can't pick up a yard, what are you doing? I cannot wait this season when the Vikings run the ball to Jordan Mason on 4th and inches and get stuff. Whoa, that's predictable. You got to mix it up and be a little bit more unique. I just cannot wait for that moment because I'm going to point to the last 3 years when he did exactly the opposite of almost going a little too fancy. Like, that's been his thing. It's just getting a little too fancy. Simplify it. Run the ball on 4th and inches. And then they get stuffed, and then it's like, it's too simple. It's too easy. They're ready. Look, there's 9 linemen at the line of scrimmage. You got to mix it up a little bit. I just can't wait. That's all.
I look forward to the text the first time it happens because we always text every time that happens.
Yep. Yep.
I'm looking forward to it already.
All right.
Wide receiver 2/3.
Ooh.
Because Addison is out for,
Yep.
what is it, 3 games? Not forever, but that's a big deal for 3 games.
It is.
The real answer is probably just TJ Hawkinson getting some more work.
Yep.
But Jalen Naylor's hand right now
Yep.
is iffy.
Yep.
I mean, is it Lucky Jackson? Is it Ty Felton? Is it signing somebody that is competent and is not under the age of 25 or 24?
Thayer Thomas has been making some noise in practice.
Who has?
Thayer Thomas, a little whitey.
Oh, there he is.
A little short Wes Welker-esque kind of wide receiver.
I was looking at the depth chart trying to find him. He's listed as the 4th receiver behind Addison.
Yep. He's been getting some run with the ones.
Okay. But yeah, that's just to watch today to see if anybody likes that, like Lucky Jackson, like Ty Felton, like Thayer Thomas.
Yep.
Any of those guys that step up and look like they could be a competent, again, because they'd be wide receiver 3 right now, but potentially 2 depending on how Mr. Jalen Naylor, what his status is. So that'd be something to watch today. Do you want to sign? Are you a Thielen guy? Obviously, Viking fans are. We need one more receiver to fill up. Adam Thielen, go trade
Totally.
garbage for him. The 36-year-old or whatever he is.
I mean, what you would ask Adam Thielen to bring, he would bring. Right? You just need a guy that could catch a few passes on 3rd down, move the chains, whatever. So.
He actually had he was awful, and just in terms of like fantasy, I did not watch Panthers games, but I had him on my fantasy team, my dynasty team.
Yeah,
I tried to trade him, but shocking, nobody wants a 35-year-old receiver. But his first, he struggled early, and part of it was Bryce Young was so terrible too. But he ended the year on a pretty solid He had a bunch of games that he put together that was he's still got it a little bit. So yeah, I don't know if the Panthers would even trade him. I mean, they got Tet McMillan now and Xavier Legette. Maybe they don't care about a 35, 36-year-old receiver anymore. But just watching receivers today would be something to watch. See how
2 touchdowns in the second to last game of the season last year.
Yeah, no, he had a little run there where he was effective again.
Yep. I will say this about the wide receiver thing. If you're going to bring someone in from the outside, now is the time to do it. What you don't want to do, in my opinion, is Naylor gets hurt now. You try to get him healthy, gets hurt again, whatever. And then you try to bring a wide receiver in the week of the Chicago Bears game. Well, the guy's not going to be ready to play. So if you're going to bring in a Thielen or an Odell Beckham Jr., even though they know the system and are familiar, I would bring them in immediately, get them comfortable with McCarthy and the system and reacclimated. So if you're going to make a decision like this, you can't sit on your hands. You've got to move on it now. So if they don't do something now, it's like, what are you waiting for? I guess they're trusting it and just going to ride it out.
Yeah, that is what they're going to do. Yeah, Amari Cooper is another name I thought of too. Who's still a free agent.
Yep.
And he looked pretty bad for the Bills, but you never know. He was traded halfway through the year. It's hard to know when those guys, whatever. But so that's kind of the last one, or the third one. 2 more.
3.
Can Dallas Turner do anything?
Oh.
Okay. I mean, granted, he got so we trade all this capital for him, and he gets stuck behind, our 2 biggest basically free agent signings, Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel.
Mm-hmm.
Can he be anything more? Obviously, those 2 aren't going anywhere. Can he's probably not sliding down to a D end, right? The D lineman. You got your Hargraves and your Phillips and your Allens and your guys like that are the big boys. So what is his role? What is his abilities? Can he do anything other than just come in as a 3rd down pass rush threat?
Right.
Is there any long-term, Van Ginkel, Grenard? I mean, they're going to be here for a little bit. You got to find a role for your 1st-round draft pick from him.
And it's interesting you bring this up because Paul Allen on his show just this past week mentioned that people are kind of low on Dallas Turner. And they're higher on Gabriel Murphy, who is an undrafted player out of UCLA or something like that. So the fact that Paul Allen made mention of Dallas Turner on his show, and PA is as,
he is very
as you can
he's very
get.
intentional about what he says.
Yes, very intentional. Loves the Vikings. Been the caller for 20-something years. So like he's not going to come out with this just because he feels like it or has a little
Correct.
inkling. He's going to say something like this because there's some things happening behind the scenes that are concerning, revolving around Dallas Turner. And what's so funny about this is that when training camp starts and you get those first pictures of players and Dallas Turner's looking huge and he's looking fast and he's looking bigger, stronger. And now you get to a preseason game and he is invisible or isn't performing as a first round pick. And I was like, uh-oh. Dallas Turner, what's going on with Dallas Turner? So something to keep an eye on for sure.
Yep. Last one. I think you'll enjoy this one.
See here. I gotta get where did my numbers go? Here we go.
4.
So this one is kind of a handicap match. It's a 2-on-1 handicap match if you're talking WWE style. KOC and JJ McCarthy versus Diana Rossini.
Seriously, wow.
Did you see the interview yesterday?
I did see that. I watched the 8-second clip at the end.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So, for those who didn't see it, the short story is Diana, for some reason, has been doing like a press tour about how bad she thinks JJ McCarthy is, essentially. You know, she was on Bill Simmons' podcast saying it. She's been on ESPN. I mean, she's been all over the place just spewing JJ McCarthy's not going to be good, basically. And she, for some reason, I'm shocked that they even did it. I don't know why.
Oh, that's what pisses me off the most. I've sent requests in to like Kevin O'Connell, his PR. Hey, can I get him on the show for 10 minutes? And then here's the Diana Rossini talking shit about the Vikings for all offseason. Oh, sure, one-on-one in-person interview. I'll give you your own little interview spot. Yeah, Diana Rossini, here you go. Here's a red carpet for you.
And it's what I mean. There's so many people out there now. Why I don't know why you talked to her, but so did you see like the boring part of the quote? I'm sure that's what went viral. So I'm sure you saw that.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, she's interviewing him, and he's like basically like, yeah, like JJ's just getting better at all the fine details right now. You know, all the boring stuff. You know, the stuff that won't make it onto Scoop City. And she basically said, well, yeah, because it's boring.
Right. Oh, here's I pulled it up right here. Here we go.
Every single Minnesota Vikings blog listens to every episode.
I'm sure they do.
And they love me.
Thanks for coming out and spending some time with us.
And obviously she's doing that in jest a little bit.
Right.
She gets it.
For sure.
And he was playing along a little bit. But again, yeah, she just straight up told him to his face that, well, yeah, because details are boring and that's not going to get clicks.
Totally.
It was a little before that. And she didn't say those words, but that was what she was,
insinuating. Right.
Talking about the details of getting better is boring. They want like interesting, like gossipy stuff. I mean, she's basically become just like a NFL gossip person. Just
she
trying to get
has.
clicks.
Yeah.
But it's just weird. I don't know what the deal was. And again, I was more just shocked that KOC did it. I don't know why he would or why they would want to or what the incentive was, or maybe he just was trying to make her look stupid and it kind of worked.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. I know. Yeah. I don't know. It was very awkward ending.
Yeah.
And when you looked at his body language, there's a couple of like, people love to read body language and things like that. And to their point, those body language experts were kind of pointing out that Kevin O'Connell's body language wasn't the best during this interview. And I mean, he's seen the noise, he's seen the chatter and stuff like that about his rookie. And
well, because he joked about it.
And I mean, O'Connell is invested in McCarthy. He was his pick. And if McCarthy is getting bad press, well, some of that is on O'Connell too, because he's the one that is riding with him. He's a ride or die with McCarthy.
And it's not, I was saying, it's not necessarily KOC's case, but it might be where you see how many NFL coaches do you see that are let go because of the quarterback that they chose didn't work out, right? Draft you sign somebody, you draft somebody.
Almost
if
all of them.
Quarterback amounts to nothing, that coach is probably getting fired because the record's not going to be as good. Everyone's going to be upset, blah, 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 blah. So
Kyle Shanahan would not be the head coach of the 49ers if Brock Purdy didn't come out of nowhere. Because
he pushed all his chips in on Trey Lance.
Because they traded multiple first-round picks for Trey Lance, who played like 2 games at North Dakota State University. And then Brock Purdy, this 7th round pick, last pick of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, comes out of nowhere and is taking your team to 2 Super Bowls. It's like, you got lucky because he would have been fired if that didn't happen.
Yep.
So
I thought that was a good fifth one.
good
Just
list,
to see.
Jacob. Great list.
Yeah, I did some prep work.
That
That's
was
probably the first
amazing.
time.
It was sensational for the first time. What?
I know. I'm just joking. We prep. We usually have a rundown.
Yeah. I actually have been doing a little rundown, right? It's a little Google Doc.
That's good.
Yeah, I've been doing a little of this, a little bit of that.
Well, you're the professional. I'm just the guest. So.
Well, you're ready. You're ready.
I was ready today.
Yep.
Well, it's been such a long time since we talked. I was just kind of getting itchy.
Oh, I know we're itchy now. The itch has been resolved, and now that we're getting back into the swing of things, we got favorable, formidable, and 50-50 coming up soon after probably the 3rd preseason game as prediction season gets closer. So lots of things.
I'll give you a tease.
Yeah.
Favorable.
Favorable. Ooh. I'll give you a tease. Formidable.
Well, you figure out which ones are which.
Yeah.
And then Adam Powick can text us when we're all wrong.
Yep. He'll take a screen grab of our prediction and send it over to us.
Down. He writes them down.
He does. Yeah.
If we lose a favorable game, he lets us know.
He holds us accountable.
A formidable game.
Yep.
He holds us accountable.
Yep. We're not afraid. We can handle it.
No.
We're not afraid of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's coming up around the corner pretty soon. Jacob and I will get back into our weekly discussions because it's fun and it's good stuff. And just it's good to have back and forth. I don't like doing this stuff by myself all the time. So, all right, everyone, thanks for joining the show. Jacob, thank you as always. And y'all have a great day. Remember to check out 5-Star Bass Solutions of Minneapolis and Hoagland Farms Beef, 952-491-1541.